Hi, and welcome to Season 3 of Design Style. Now, over the last 2 seasons, we've redesigned many spaces, both interior and exterior. Well, today, we're going to be showing you what goes into transforming a piece of land into a beautiful home. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Well, I'm standing on a beautiful piece of real estate, and as you can see, there's a magnificent view behind me. In this episode, we're going to be showing you what goes into transforming a piece of land into a beautiful home or development. And I have a dynamo of a lady here with me who is doing just that. I'm here with Miss Deborah Tobier, who is the mastermind behind the development, Emerald Vista, located in the south. Hi Debbie, how are you?
I'm good, Joanna. How are you?
I'm fine. Now Debbie, I'm enjoying the view. This piece of property, the location is absolutely stunning.
It is.
Tell me, what motivated you into taking on such a huge challenge?
I've been engaged in supply of the lumber industry. I'm very knowledgeable in that area, and I've always had the dream that I would branch off into real estate development in way of expanding my investment portfolio in an area that I'm very knowledgeable.
Yes, and I'm sure you had a great deal of help because I'm looking at what you're doing, and it's quite a huge development.
It really is.
So tell me, how large is the property?
The property is 18.68 acres
Wow,
of land. Yes, and it's raw land. And I mean, this has been definitely a learning experience, Joanna. I think a lot of people are not mindful of all of the considerations in land development. And it's something, of course, that when you're getting into it, you need to explore research and then familiarize yourself so that you're in a position to make it something viable.
Right. The name Emerald Vista, very interesting. How did you come up with that?
We were brainstorming. We had actually put in to our lawyer some other names that were already taken, right?
Okay.
And I think it was the February of 2010.
Yes.
I stood here on the property having acquired it in 2009.
Okay.
Right? And then looking out, that was when we had that severe drought.
Yes.
What you find is the Bay Area, even though everywhere else was dry, you have the mangrove area, which was still a green, very similar to an emerald green.
Right.
And the name connotes a beautiful view in Vista.
Yes.
But it also means that right now emerald would be gemstone, so luxury, and it connotes the things that we wanted to in a name.
And that's just what you guys are looking at, luxury
development. That's right.
Now, let's talk a little about the construction phase or the land development phase, because that's the first phase for any development.
That's right.
Yes? Now, I know you did things differently to the norm.
Okay. Well, and again, Joanna, a lot of people are of the view that everything is based up north. I hail from the south of the island. I'm very particular. I love Beaufort and the environs. Of course, my business is based here. But one of the things that is distinct, because you have a lot of maybe failed projects, people do not anticipate certain things or research it and familiarize themselves. Yes. With us, we decided that we wanted to promote above standard infrastructure. So we have supply of concrete roads with underground utility supply, which is much more costly than traditional overhead supply of wires, well, electricity and telecoms.
So, well, I would think that would definitely make your development stand out from the rest.
Yes.
Because this is definitely not the norm. You go to the other developments, the wires up in the air, and I don't see one wire here, not one telephone utility pole, and wires just going all over the place.
Because the view is so spectacular, we could not have afforded to obscure this view.
Now, Debbie, during your development phase, a lot of thought went into each home. And I know special considerations were given to the topography of the land.
That's right.
Tell me a little about that.
Joanna, I think traditionally we tend to build on top of the landscape.
Yes.
As you know, our architectural style, our distinctive urban style architecture, usually people design and build on pillars, never mind the topography, okay?
That's true.
When I was constructing my own home many years ago in 2001, I remember that because I oriented the house towards the back of the property, because of course I wanted to capitalize on this perspective of the view, you find that the original profiles that they ran, they had it at the height of the tallest part of the property. And I told them, no, listen guys, let us remove the earth and then we can effectively sit the house into the landscape And it serves some, multiple purposes. Because Joanna, for instance,
it's definitely better pleasing.
Yes, it's more aesthetically pleasing to the eyes, of course, looking back on a house that's seated into the landscape, but also from an engineering perspective, you find that you're sitting it effectively into the bedrock of the property. And this is something that when you look at the price points and what it costs to build homes now, even probably middle income homes, you find that it's a nominal cost as compared to what the effect would be. So Joanna, in this particular example, you find that the topography began here at this level of the road, right? We've done the retaining wall structures necessary to cut into the topsoil. So what you're doing is you're removing what is, prone to maybe landslides, and you're getting into the solid surface down below. And of course, as developers, we also have a responsibility to preserve the view of the residents, because this is largely the appeal of developing this piece of property. So when you have that ability to set the home into the landscape, it means that you can position it in such a manner as not to impede the view of the person to the back.
So Debbie, let's talk a little about the architectural aspect of your development, because as you know, it's something that probably, it has to be considered, probably one of the first things I would have to be considered, because you have to take up the floor plans and everything as it follows, and it has to be approved and so on. So tell us a little about the architectural aspect of the development.
Well, Joanna, we've done everything in-house, and that gives us a distinct advantage over an ordinary developer. One of the things that's very distinctive about our architecture, of course, it lends to that modern, convenient lifestyle. And in the Caribbean, where you have sea views like this, you want to orient all of the rooms towards the perspective of the view.
Take advantage, every room take advantage of the view.
Yes, you can't live like this. I mean, if I can tell you, and I mean, of course, I would not name the actual projects, but there are projects, and I'm sure you're aware of as well, that have a perspective of the view, and the side wall of the house or the commercial structure is facing the view. This is something that we know that will bring interested clients in. We have that non-national from Trinidad, a doctor out of Trinidad. And of course, when you consider the modern conveniences of the layout, that is something that we have really paid special attention to.
So let's talk a little about the floor plans. I'm quite interested because I know the process must have been a long process getting those floor plans drawn, sitting down, brainstorming, and so on and so forth. So tell me a little about the floor plans. And did you have anybody you worked with?
Yes,
or
actually, one of the key
the
individuals in the project also is a civil engineer. He went out, he was formerly a teacher, that is Asa Celestin. He went out to school, put himself through school in Cuba, and he got the necessary certification as a civil engineer. And that is really beneficial to us, Joanna, because now you have somebody who has the expertise in-house to consider the implications of the engineering aspect of designing. Okay?
Great. Well, when we get back, we're going to meet Asa and of course learn a little about floor plans and their importance. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.